Walk through Tokyo at 2:17 in the morning, and something strange happens. The trains may have stopped. Office towers are dark. Restaurants are closing. Narrow residential streets are almost completely silent. And then, at the end of the block you see it, a rectangle of white light. Automatic doors slide open. A little electronic chime plays. Inside, the shelves are perfectly organized. Someone is buying fried chicken. Another person is printing documents. A tired office worker is standing in front of the refrigerator deciding between noodles and a rice ball. Welcome to the Japanese convenience store. Or, as almost everyone in Japan calls it, the Konbini. If you really want to understand Japan, you could visit its temples, ride the Shinkansen, walk through Shibuya Crossing, and stare at Mount Fuji. But you could also spend 20 minutes inside a Family Mart. Because packed into these surprisingly small stores are some of the biggest ideas that define modern Japan. Efficiency, reliability, urban density, obsessive attention to detail, changing demographics, and an almost relentless attempt to remove inconvenience from everyday life. And there are a lot of them. At the end of fiscal 2025, figures compiled by 7&i, using industry and company data, put the number of major convenience stores across Japan at roughly 56,149. 7-Eleven alone accounted for about 21,927, followed by Family Mart with roughly 16,415, and Lawson with about 14,697. That means in many Japanese neighborhoods, finding a convenience store isn't really a question of whether one exists nearby. It's more like deciding which one you prefer. And that competition has produced something very different from the convenience store you may be imagining. In many countries, a convenience store is somewhere you reluctantly enter because you need petrol, bottled water, or an emergency bag of chips. In Japan, you might actually plan dinner around one. Walk inside around lunchtime, and the shelves are packed with onigiri small rice triangles wrapped in seaweed, with fillings ranging from tuna mayonnaise to salmon and pickled plum. Nearby, you'll find sandwiches, salads, soba noodles, pasta, curry, dumplings, desserts, and neatly arranged bento meals. There are refrigerated drinks stretching across entire walls. Then there's the hot food counter. Depending on the chain and location, you might find fried chicken, croquettes, steamed buns, or other quick snacks prepared for people who want something warm without sitting down in a restaurant. The important thing isn't that Japan invented sandwiches or packaged rice. It's the level of refinement. These companies are constantly fighting over tiny details. How soft should the bread be? How should the seaweed be packaged so it stays crispy until the exact moment you unwrap the rice? How much sauce should be inside a pasta dish? Which seasonal dessert might convince someone to stop at Family Mart instead of the 7-Eleven 50 meters away? A convenience store becomes less like a warehouse and more like a constantly running experiment in consumer behavior. And because Japanese cities are incredibly dense, one store can serve an enormous variety of people during a single day. Early in the morning, workers grab coffee and breakfast. Around noon, office is empty, and people arrive for lunch. After school, students appear. In the evening, commuters buy dinner, drinks, and snacks. Late at night, the store becomes a lifeline for taxi drivers, night shift workers, travelers, and anyone who suddenly realizes there is no toothpaste in the apartment. That last part is important. A konbini isn't really just a food shop. It is closer to a miniature piece of public infrastructure. Need cash? Many have ATMs. And Japan's official tourism organization specifically points visitors toward convenience stores for services such as cash withdrawal, including locations where international cards are supported. Need to print something? You may find a multifunction machine capable of printing, photocopying, or scanning documents. Need basic toiletries because your airline sent your luggage to another continent? Toothbrushes, deodorant, towels, socks, chargers, and other daily essentials are commonly available. In many stores, people can also handle things such as tickets, deliveries, or bill-related services. Japan's tourism authorities describe konbini as places where services can extend far beyond normal retail shopping. So imagine this. You are traveling through Japan. It's nearly midnight. Tomorrow morning you have an important appointment. You suddenly discover you need to print a document, withdraw some yen, buy breakfast, and replace the charging cable you left on a train. In many countries, that's 4 problems. In Japan, it's 1 walk to the Konbini. And this helps explain something deeper about the country. Japan's modern economy has been built around reducing friction. The train should arrive when the timetable says they will. A vending machine should work. A package should reach the correct address. And a convenience store should have what you need when you need it. Of course, reality isn't perfect. Japan has delays, mistakes, shortages, and bad service like anywhere else. But the expectation of reliability is unusually powerful. And running tens of thousands of small stores under that expectation is much harder than it looks. Fresh food has limited shelf life. Customer demand changes depending on the weather, neighborhood, hour, and season. Stock too little, and customers leave disappointed. Stock too much, and unsold food becomes waste. So convenience store chains increasingly rely on enormous amounts of sales information and technology to predict what individual locations need. Lawson, for example, says it uses an AI-based ordering system to help determine merchandise assortments and inventory volumes, while AI-supported markdown recommendations are also being used in efforts to reduce food waste. Think about how specific that problem becomes. A Lawson beside a university shouldn't necessarily stock the same products in the same quantities as one near a retirement community. A store outside a railway station during heavy rain may experience different demand from the same store on a sunny Friday. A heat wave can change what people drink. Cherry blossom season can change what tourists buy. Even the time of day matters. The Konbini is trying to predict all of it. And then there is the Japanese obsession with seasonality. Visit repeatedly throughout the year and products change. Cherry blossom-themed items appear around spring. Cold noodles and refreshing drinks become more prominent in hot weather. As temperatures fall, warm foods become more attractive. Limited edition snacks disappear, and sometimes create miniature social media crazes. This constant rotation gives people a reason to keep looking at shelves they have already seen hundreds of times. But convenience stores also reveal some of Japan's problems. The population is aging. Many communities are shrinking. Retailers face labor shortages. Keeping stores staffed around the clock has become more difficult, and the traditional assumption that every location should automatically operate 24 hours has faced pressure. At the same time, technology is taking a larger role. Self-checkouts, digital payments, smarter inventory systems, and automation are gradually changing what the neighborhood convenience store looks like. Japan itself is becoming more cashless as well. Contactless payments and electronic money are now widely accepted at major convenience stores, even though cash still remains important in parts of the country. So the Konbini is doing something fascinating. It is changing with Japan while trying to remain almost invisible. That's probably its greatest achievement. Nobody wakes up thinking, "Today I would like to experience an extraordinarily optimized retail distribution network." They think, "I want coffee." And the coffee is there. They don't think about inventory algorithms. They think, "I need lunch." And lunch is waiting. They don't think about logistics, payment networks, franchise economics, refrigerated supply chains, or demographic change. They simply walk through the automatic doors. That's why Japan's convenience stores explain the country so well. The impressive part isn't any single sandwich, ATM, or perfectly wrapped rice ball. It's the system behind them. Thousands of stores. Millions of small transactions. Trucks arriving. Shelves being restocked. Products being redesigned. Data being collected. And workers keeping everything moving, while most customers barely notice. The Japanese convenience store takes ordinary problems and tries to make them disappear. Hungry? Solved. Thirsty? Solved. Need cash? Probably solved. Forgot toothpaste at midnight? Solved. And maybe that's the most Japanese thing about the Konbini. It doesn't ask you to admire how complicated the system is. It just opens the door, plays a little chime, and quietly makes your day easier. So when someone tells you that you need to visit a castle, temple, or futuristic robot attraction to understand Japan, they're not wrong. But after that, Walk into a convenience store at midnight. Buy an onigiri. Look around, because somewhere between the perfectly arranged shelves, the hot fried chicken, and the multifunction printer in the corner, modern Japan is hiding in plain sight. That's Japan, through its convenience stores. Like, subscribe, and join us for the next surprising video.